So this is a machine where the revolutionaries 1 century ago they print the revolutionary newspapers. So it is in the time where the propaganda was made in the real paper, not in internet, not with Xero, but like this. So here is written down with Tsar, and this is the names of the people killed in the time of the prisoners of the 10 pavilion executed on the slopes of the Citadel between 1846 and 1912. And for us very important are these guys in the maybe firstly I will say that this guy here, most of them, this is the member of the insurrection uprising in 1963, and this guy here, it is the member of the Revolutionary Party Proletariat, and this is the people killed in the time of the revolution 1905. You can see how many people was killed here in the time of the revolution. That most of these people were killed in the time of the workers' revolution 1905. So they killed Polish revolutionaries like this, using this tree. So the history of this building, it's starting in the November uprising in Poland, and it is the history of the Polish independent movement. But for us, the most important is the history of the revolutionary who was killed here. It is how this building was. It's very, very huge. You can here is Vistula River, and it's very, very big. It's when we compare this with the Warsaw. So the citadel was built by the Russian generals, which were here. This is Jarosław Dąbrowski. He was a prisoner here in the time of the January uprising, and after he emigrated to France, where he fought in the first socialist revolution in the Commune de Paris. He was one of the general of the Commune, and he was a great hero. And as you see, Felix Dzierżyński, one of the most important leader of the Polish Revolution, he was prisoner here many times. In 1905, and after 3 years from 1912 to 1914. So I want to make a greeting for all comrades from the cell where Felix Dzierżyński was imprisoned. So it is history of the January uprising, and this uprising is important for the history of the revolutionary workers' movement, because to the meeting of the solidarity with the Polish January uprising, they organized in London. It was the origin of the first international. So the history of the January uprising is very sad for the history of Poland, because it was the uprising where the nobles of Poland are the rulers of this uprising, but they try to use the Polish peasants to fight. And this weapon, it is a typical weapon of the Polish peasant. It was a little efficacious in the time of the Kościuszko uprising in the finish of the 18th century, but in 1863 it was not very good. It was obsolete. And as you see, it was a prison, and every door are very, very and this is a brother of Józef Piłsudski. I will read the information. So, brother of Józef Piłsudski, with whom he organized the Spójnia autodidact club in the Vilnius Secondary School in 1887, when he was studying law in St. Petersburg. He was arrested and sentenced to death for conspiring to murder Tsar Alexander III. The death of penalty was commuted to 15 years of hard labor and exile on Sakhalin Island. So he was sentenced in the same case that the Alexander Ulyanov, the brother of Lenin. And the prisoners of the Citadel had to wear these things. Chains. So here is written, socialism or barbarism, there is no other way. And it is the name of the prisoner which were here after the January uprising. So as you see, Felix Dzierżyński is the leader, but also Józef Unszlicht, also he collaborated with Felix Dzierżyński to building a Russian Czeka. Marcin Kasprzak, he was a member of SDKPL, Stefan Okrzeja, member of the PPS, Róża Luxemburg. It was a cell of Stefan Okrzeja, the member of the Polish Socialist Party. It is history about the organization, struggle organization of Polish Socialist Party. It was terrorist organization which take a lot of money. And here was Julian Marchlewski, one of the leader of the Polish communist movement. He was a member of the revolutionary Polish government in the time of the war in 1920, and also he was a director of the organization of Red Help. So he is the most famous prisoner of this prison, and I would like to say that when Józef Piłsudski was young, he was a good guy, but unfortunately after he became a Polish nationalist and fascist dictator. And this is a guy, Józef Montfił Mirecki. He was a member of the organization combat of the PPS. And this is Adolf Warszawski, member of the SDKPL and after one of the most important members of the Communist Party of Poland. So in this room they are reading the memoirs of Józef Piłsudski. It's a ridicule form of the Polish cult of personality of the Piłsudski. So here is written that it was the cell when the prisoners are waiting for the speaks with the police, and as you see there is no bed here, only thing like this. So it is a prison in the Warsaw Citadel when we see from the outside, and it is person one, the so-called kibitka. As you see, the condition not very comfortable. So we are in the execution path, stretch of the cobbled road joining to the 10th of Pavilion. So there was a prison, and here is the place where people are going to die. So it is a finish of the Citadel of Warsaw, and now we are going to the place where the Polish revolutionaries were killed. So it's here. There are the Vistula River, and as you see now you can find a lot of symbolic graves.
Naprzód Warszawo, na walkę krwawą, święto a prawo, marsz Warszawo. Naprzód Warszawo, na walkę krwawą, świętą a prawo, marsz Warszawo, marsz.